Deep in the heart of South America lies a realm of breathtaking scale and ancient mystery, the Amazon rainforest. This is not merely a forest, but a living tapestry woven from millions of years of evolution, a place where nature's imagination knows no bounds. Stretching across more than 2 million square miles, the Amazon is the largest and most biodiverse tropical rainforest on Earth. A green expanse so vast, it generates its own weather and shapes the very climate of our planet. The Amazon basin sprawls across 9 countries, its boundaries defined not by human hands, but by the endless reach of its rivers and the dense embrace of its forests. Here the land is sculpted by water. Thousands of tributaries weave through the jungle, converging into the mighty Amazon River, the largest river system on Earth by volume. The Amazon River itself is a force of nature, carrying more water than the next 7 largest rivers combined. Its journey from the Andes to the Atlantic Ocean is a lifeline for the rainforest, flooding vast areas during the wet season and creating a dynamic mosaic of habitats. Flooded forests, oxbow lakes, and shifting sandbanks. The Amazon's influence extends far beyond its borders. Its trees release billions of tons of water vapor into the atmosphere each year, fueling rain clouds that drift across continents. This flying river of moisture helps regulate rainfall patterns as far away as North America and Africa, making the Amazon a vital engine in the global climate system. Beneath the emerald canopy, the Amazon's ancient trees and rich soils act as a colossal carbon sink, absorbing and storing vast amounts of carbon dioxide. This natural process helps slow the pace of climate change, making the rainforest a crucial ally in the fight to preserve Earth's delicate balance. The Amazon is a living bridge, connecting distant ecosystems and influencing the health of the entire planet. Its preservation is not just a regional concern, but a global imperative, its fate intertwined with our own. Nowhere else on Earth rivals the Amazon's astonishing biodiversity. It is estimated that 1 in every 10 known species calls this rainforest home. From the tiniest leafcutter ants, whose underground colonies shape the soil, to the elusive jaguar, master of the forest shadows, life here is a symphony of adaptation and survival. The Amazon River basin alone harbors more species of freshwater fish than are found in the entire Atlantic Ocean. In its labyrinth of waterways, armored catfish, electric eels, and the legendary arapaima glide through the currents while new species are discovered with each scientific expedition. Amphibians and reptiles thrive in the humid understory, from jewel-toned poison dart frogs to the mighty anaconda, the world's largest snake. Above, the air shimmers with the calls of over 300 bird species, macaws, toucans, and harpy eagles, each adapted to a unique niche in the forest's vertical world. Even the slow-moving sloth, draped in green algae, is perfectly suited to this lush, layered environment. The plant life of the Amazon is equally extraordinary. Over 16,000 species of trees and countless vines, epiphytes and orchids compete for sunlight, creating a multi-tiered world where every inch is alive. Some plants have evolved ingenious strategies, like carnivorous pitcher plants that trap insects, or trees that walk slowly across the forest floor in search of light. The Amazon is a place of constant transformation. Torrential rains and sudden storms sweep across the canopy, while mists drift through the trees at dawn, cloaking the forest in an air of mystery. Every day, the cycle of life and death plays out in a delicate balance, each organism a vital thread in the web of existence. This is a world where the boundaries between land, water, and sky blur, a paradise of endless green, where nature's creativity is on full display. The Amazon is both a sanctuary and a crucible, a place of beauty and danger, of secrets waiting to be revealed. Every drop of dew, every fluttering wing, every rustle in the undergrowth tells a story millions of years in the making. The Amazon is a living library of evolution, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of life itself. As night falls, The forest awakens with a chorus of voices, frogs, insects, and unseen creatures, weaving their songs into the humid air. In this ancient, ever-changing paradise, the wonders of the natural world are boundless, and the story of life continues to unfold, one heartbeat at a time. The Amazon rainforest stands as the planet's most formidable biological engine, a living system of staggering complexity and scale. Spanning millions of square kilometers, this vast expanse of life is a self-sustaining powerhouse, orchestrating intricate cycles that drive the very chemistry of our world. Each day, billions of leaves in the Amazon's dense canopy function as immense solar arrays, absorbing sunlight and initiating the process of photosynthesis on a scale unmatched anywhere else on Earth. Through photosynthesis, these leaves transform sunlight, water, and atmospheric carbon dioxide into organic energy, fueling the relentless growth of the forest and releasing oxygen as a vital byproduct. The Amazon is responsible for producing approximately 20% of the world's oxygen, exhaling vast quantities into the atmosphere and supporting life far beyond its borders. But its influence extends even further. The Amazon acts as a colossal carbon sink, absorbing immense amounts of carbon dioxide from the air and storing it within its biomass, trunks, branches, leaves, and roots. This ongoing sequestration of carbon helps to moderate global climate, buffering the planet against the escalating effects of greenhouse gas emissions. The Amazon's engine is powered by a perpetual cycle of life, death, and renewal. When leaves drift to the forest floor or ancient giants collapse, every fragment is reclaimed by the ecosystem. Armies of fungi, insects, and microorganisms descend upon the fallen matter, breaking it down and releasing nutrients back into the soil. This decomposition process is rapid and efficient, replenishing the thin tropical soils with essential minerals and enabling new generations of plants to flourish. Despite the apparent abundance, the Amazon soils are surprisingly poor in nutrients. The forest's survival depends on this swift recycling, a closed loop that has persisted for millions of years. The Amazon essentially feeds itself, maintaining a delicate equilibrium that sustains its immense biodiversity and productivity. Beyond its role in carbon and nutrient cycling, the Amazon is a planetary water pump, orchestrating the movement of water on a continental scale. Towering trees draw vast quantities of water from the earth, channeling it upward through their roots and trunks. This water ascends to the leaves, where it is released as a vapor through transpiration, saturating the air above the canopy. The resulting moisture condenses into clouds, forming a persistent shroud that hovers over the forest and eventually returns as nourishing rain. This self-sustaining hydrological cycle generates the Amazon's high humidity and frequent rainfall, effectively allowing the forest to create its own weather. These flying rivers of water vapor are so immense that they shape rainfall patterns across the entire South American continent, influencing weather systems thousands of kilometers away. The true power of the Amazon's biological engine lies in its extraordinary biodiversity. Millions of species, plants, animals, fungi, and microbes interact in a web of life so intricate that every organism plays a role. From the tallest emergent trees to the tiniest soil bacteria, each species contributes to the stability and resilience of the ecosystem. Some animals disperse seeds, ensuring the regeneration of the forest and the continuation of its cycles. Others regulate populations, maintaining balance and preventing any single species from overwhelming the system. This vast network of interactions forms a resilient, self-regulating ecosystem, capable of withstanding disturbances and adapting to change. Yet, the loss of even a single species can send ripples through the system, weakening the intricate machinery that keeps the forest alive. The Amazon's strength is its complexity, a dynamic, ever-evolving balance of millions of living parts, working in concert to power the greatest biological engine on Earth. Deep within the Amazon, a world of shadows and silence conceals some of the most formidable hunters on Earth. Here, every movement, every breath, is shaped by the presence of predators, masters of stealth, patience, and deadly precision. On the forest floor, the jaguar reigns supreme. This magnificent big cat is a master of stealth, its rosette-patterned coat blending seamlessly with the dappled light and shadow of the undergrowth. Jaguars move with near-silent grace, stalking their prey with patience and precision, often waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Unlike many other big cats, the jaguar is an adept swimmer, often hunting along riverbanks and even plunging into the water to ambush unsuspecting prey. Its jaws are among the most powerful in the animal kingdom, capable of crushing the skulls of mammals or piercing the armored hide of a caiman. This unique adaptation allows the jaguar to target a wide range of animals, from capybaras to turtles, playing a crucial role in maintaining the balance of the rainforest ecosystem. Solitary by nature, a single jaguar may patrol a territory spanning dozens of miles, marking its domain with scent and sound. Its elusive presence shapes the behavior of countless other creatures, who must always be alert for the silent approach of this apex predator. Beneath the surface of the Amazon's rivers and flooded forests, another silent hunter lurks, the green anaconda. The world's heaviest snake, the anaconda is a master of aquatic ambush. With only its eyes and nostrils above water, it waits motionless for hours, sensing vibrations and heat from passing prey. When the moment is right, the anaconda strikes with lightning speed, seizing its victim in powerful coils. Its muscular body constricts with immense force, suffocating prey such as fish, birds, caimans, or even large mammals. As a top predator, the anaconda helps regulate populations of aquatic and terrestrial animals, ensuring the health of the ecosystem. High above, in the dense canopy, the harpy eagle reigns as the apex predator of the treetops. With massive talons rivaling the claws of a grizzly bear, the harpy eagle can snatch sloths and monkeys from branches, often in mid-motion. Its keen eyesight allows it to spot the slightest movement far below, and its powerful wings carry it silently through the tangled branches. The harpy eagle's presence shapes the lives of countless canopy dwellers, who must always be wary of the shadow from above. Its role as a top predator helps control populations of arboreal mammals, maintaining the delicate balance of the rainforest. Even the smallest hunters wield immense power. Army ants, for example, move in vast columns, overwhelming insects, spiders, and even small vertebrates with sheer numbers. Their coordinated attacks leave little chance for escape, and their raids can reshape the micro-ecosystems of the forest floor. The bullet ant, named for the searing pain of its sting, is a solitary hunter and fierce defender of its territory. Its venomous bite deters predators and subdues prey, making it a formidable force in the undergrowth. The rainforest is also home to other skilled predators, each with its own unique hunting style. The ocelot, with its keen senses and agile body, stalks birds and small mammals through the tangled vegetation. The puma, or cougar, is a highly adaptable hunter, relying on ambush and powerful leaps to surprise its prey. Rather than engaging in long chases, these cats use patience and stealth, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Their presence helps regulate populations of herbivores, preventing overgrazing and supporting the diversity of plant life. The margay, a smaller but no less impressive cat, is a true acrobat of the treetops. With flexible ankles that can rotate 180 degrees, it climbs down trees headfirst, hunting birds, eggs, and small mammals with remarkable agility. As night falls, the rainforest transforms. New hunters emerge from the shadows, taking advantage of the darkness. The spectacled owl glides silently through the trees, its specialized feathers muffling the sound of its flight. With large, forward-facing eyes and extraordinary hearing, the owl can locate prey in complete darkness. The discs of feathers on its face funnel sound toward its ears, allowing it to triangulate the exact position of a scurrying rodent below. This remarkable adaptation makes the owl a master of nocturnal hunting, ensuring that even in the darkest hours, the rainforest is alive with the silent pursuit of predator and prey. Among the leaves and branches, predatory insects like praying mantises, assassin bugs, and ambush spiders employ camouflage, patience, and lightning-fast strikes to capture their meals. These tiny hunters play a vital role in controlling insect populations and recycling nutrients throughout the forest. In the Amazon, every silent hunter, large or small, contributes to the intricate web of life. Their strategies and adaptations, honed over millennia, ensure the survival of countless species and the continued vitality of the world's greatest rainforest. While the towering trees and mighty predators of the Amazon often steal the spotlight, the true foundation of the rainforest is built by its smallest inhabitants, ants, termites, and fungi. These tiny architects are the silent engineers, recyclers, and caretakers of the forest floor, shaping the ecosystem in ways both subtle and profound. Among the most remarkable are the leafcutter ants. These industrious insects can be seen marching in long lines, each one carrying a piece of a leaf like a green sail. Their trails carve through the undergrowth, a living conveyor belt of green energy. But these ants are not eating the leaves. Instead, they are transporting them to their vast underground nests, where an extraordinary process unfolds. Deep below the surface, the ants chew the leaf fragments into a pulp, which becomes the fertile bed for a special type of fungus. This fungus is the colony's sole source of food, cultivated with meticulous care in sprawling subterranean gardens. Over millions of years, leafcutter ants and their cultivated fungus have evolved a perfect symbiotic relationship. The ants provide fresh leaves, and in return, the fungus nourishes the colony. This is one of nature's earliest and most sophisticated examples of agriculture. The ants' ingenuity doesn't stop there. Their bodies are covered in a unique type of bacteria that produces natural antibiotics, protecting their precious fungal gardens from harmful molds and pests. This partnership between insect, fungus, and bacteria is a marvel of co-evolution. The engineering feats of leafcutter ants are equally impressive. A single mature colony can contain millions of individuals and move up to 12 tons of vegetation each year. Their relentless activity aerates the soil, redistributes nutrients, and transforms the very structure of the forest floor. Ants of all kinds are the recyclers of the rainforest. They break down dead material, pollinate plants, and serve as a vital food source for countless other creatures. Their collective actions keep the ecosystem running smoothly. Not all ants are peaceful farmers. The bullet ant, one of the largest ant species in the world, is famous for its formidable sting, a powerful defense against would-be predators. Yet even these fierce insects play a role in the balance of the forest. The bullet ant's presence is a reminder of the diversity and complexity of life on the forest floor, where every species, no matter how small or fearsome, has a part to play. Their powerful venom is a formidable defense, but it also helps regulate populations and maintain the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Whether building, farming, or defending, ants are fundamental to the health of the Amazon. Their combined actions have a massive impact on the ecosystem, far greater than their individual size would suggest. The intricate relationships between ants, fungi, and bacteria are mirrored elsewhere on the forest floor, where other tiny architects are at work. Termites, too, are master builders. They construct towering mounds and vast underground networks, using soil, saliva, and plant matter. Some species cultivate their own fungus gardens, breaking down tough plant fibers and recycling nutrients back into the soil. By decomposing dead wood and plant material, termites accelerate the recycling of nutrients, enriching the soil and supporting new plant growth. Their mounds alter the landscape, creating microhabitats for countless other species. Fungi, the silent partners of the forest, weave a hidden web beneath the surface. Their mycelium networks connect trees and plants, transferring water, nutrients, and even chemical signals. Fungi break down organic matter, releasing vital elements back into the ecosystem. The collaboration between ants, termites, and fungi is a testament to the power of symbiosis. Together, they engineer the forest floor, recycle life's building blocks, and sustain the Amazon's incredible diversity. In this great biological engine, every tiny architect, ant, termite, or fungus plays a vital role. Their unseen labor supports the towering trees above and the entire web of life that depends on the Amazon rainforest. In the Amazon, survival is a relentless contest, and every creature is locked in an evolutionary arms race. Here, the art of deception and the language of warning are written into the very fabric of life. Animals have evolved a dazzling array of strategies: mimicry, camouflage, and approximatism to outwit predators and avoid becoming prey. Among the most iconic warning signals in the rainforest is the poison dart frog. These tiny amphibians are living billboards of danger, their skin painted in electric blues, fiery oranges, and dazzling golds. This phenomenon, known as approximatism, is a visual warning to would-be predators. Approach at your own peril. The brilliance of their colors is not for beauty, but a clear message. Their skin is laced with potent toxins, and any predator foolish enough to ignore the warning will pay a deadly price. Over generations, predators have learned to associate these vivid hues with danger, reinforcing the effectiveness of approximatism. This evolutionary arms race is ongoing. Some predators develop resistance to toxins, while frogs evolve even more potent defenses or brighter colors, each adaptation pushing the other to new extremes. Interestingly, poison dart frogs do not create their toxins themselves. Instead, they acquire these deadly compounds from the ants, mites, and other insects they consume. The rainforest's complex food web is the source of their chemical shield, and frogs raised away from this wild diet lose their toxicity entirely. Armed with their chemical armor, these frogs can move boldly in daylight, hopping across the forest floor with little fear. Their warning colors grant them a freedom few other small creatures enjoy. But not all defenses are so obvious. Camouflage is another powerful tool in the Amazon's arsenal. The glass frog, for example, is a master of invisibility. Its lime-green back blends seamlessly with the leaves it rests upon, making it nearly impossible to spot from above. The glass frog's most astonishing feature is its translucent belly. From below, its organs, including its tiny beating heart, are visible, and this transparency breaks up its outline, making it vanish against the dappled light of the canopy. When the frog sleeps, it takes its disguise even further. By redirecting most of its red blood cells into its liver, the glass frog becomes even more transparent, its body nearly invisible to predators searching from below. This remarkable adaptation is a testament to the power of camouflage in the Amazon, where being unseen is often the best defense. The rainforest is also home to masters of mimicry. The leaf insect, for instance, is so perfectly disguised that it is almost indistinguishable from a real leaf. Its body mimics not only the shape and color, but even the veins and bite marks of foliage, fooling both predators and prey. Mimicry in the Amazon takes many forms. Some harmless species imitate the warning colors of toxic animals, gaining protection by association. Others, like certain butterflies and moths, display eye spots or patterns that resemble larger, more dangerous creatures, startling would-be attackers. These adaptations, approximatism, camouflage, and mimicry, are all part of the evolutionary arms race that shapes life in the Amazon. Each new defense spurs new strategies in predators, and every breakthrough in disguise or warning is met with a countermeasure. In this world of warning and disguise, the stakes are high. To be seen is to risk everything, and so the rainforest creatures have become artists of deception, their survival written in color, pattern, and illusion. High above the forest floor, the Amazon canopy bursts with life, a living tapestry woven from the colors, songs, and movements of countless birds. Here, every branch and leaf seems to host a feathered resident, each more dazzling than the last. The air is alive with a symphony of calls, trills, whistles, squawks, and melodic songs, each species adding its own note to the rainforest's chorus. Among the most iconic of these avian wonders is the toucan, a bird whose presence is announced by its sharp, frog-like croak echoing through the trees. The toucan's enormous, vividly colored bill is not just a visual marvel, it is a tool of survival, instantly recognizable and perfectly adapted to its environment. Despite its size, the bill is surprisingly light, made mostly of hollow bone and keratin, allowing the toucan to reach fruit on slender branches that would not support its weight. The bill also acts as a highly efficient radiator, helping the toucan regulate its body temperature in the humid heat of the rainforest. By adjusting blood flow through the bill's intricate network of vessels, the toucan can release excess heat, a vital adaptation for life in the steamy canopy. Soaring above the treetops, macaws add a flash of color and a burst of sound to the sky. These large, long-tailed parrots are famous for their brilliant plumage, fiery reds, electric blues, and sunny yellows, colors that shimmer in the sunlight as they glide between the trees. Mikus are deeply social, forming lifelong bonds with their mates. They preen each other's feathers, reinforcing their pair bonds and keeping their plumage in perfect condition. Often seen flying in pairs, their synchronized wing beats and coordinated calls help them stay connected as they travel long distances in search of food. Their raucous calls echo through the forest, serving as both a warning to rivals and a beacon to their flock, ensuring that no bird is ever truly alone in the vast green expanse. Macaws are powerful foragers, using their strong, curved beaks to crack open the toughest nuts and seeds. In doing so, they play a crucial ecological role, dispersing seeds and shaping the very structure of the rainforest. The vibrant colors of many Amazonian birds are more than just beautiful. They are a reflection of their diets and the intricate web of life in the forest. The scarlet ibis, for example, is renowned for its breathtaking crimson feathers, a color that is as much a product of its environment as its genes. This brilliant hue comes from the ibis's diet of crustaceans, which are rich in carotenoid pigments. Wading through shallow waters, the ibis uses its long, curved beak to probe for crabs and shrimp, extracting the pigments that will eventually color its feathers. These crustaceans, in turn, feed on algae and detritus, linking the ibis to the health of the entire wetland ecosystem. As young ibises mature, the pigments accumulate, transforming their feathers from dull brown to radiant scarlet, a living testament to the interconnectedness of life in the Amazon. Even the insects of the canopy dazzle with color, their iridescent bodies flashing like living gems among the leaves. The blue morpho butterfly, one of the largest and most spectacular in the world, glides through shafts of sunlight, its wings flashing a metallic blue that can be seen from far away. With a wingspan of up to 8 inches, the blue morpho's flight is both graceful and mesmerizing, a fleeting vision of color in the dappled light. The butterfly's brilliant blue is not the result of pigment but of microscopic scales that bend and reflect light, a phenomenon known as structural coloration. These scales are arranged in intricate patterns, creating a shimmering effect that confuses predators and attracts mates. When at rest, the morpho closes its wings, revealing a brown underside marked with large eye spots, perfect camouflage against the bark and leaves, and a clever defense against hungry birds. In the Amazon, many birds form mixed species flocks, moving through the canopy together. These alliances offer safety in numbers, as more eyes can spot predators, and each species brings its own unique skills to the group. Some birds specialize in snatching insects from the air, while others probe bark and leaves for hidden prey, each playing a role in keeping the forest healthy and balanced. Hummingbirds, with their iridescent feathers and rapid wing beats, dart from flower to flower, pollinating countless plants and ensuring the next generation of rainforest blooms. Hidden among the leaves, nests cradle the next generation. Parent birds tirelessly feed their chicks, defending them from predators and teaching them the skills they'll need to survive in this vibrant, ever-changing world. As dawn breaks and the forest awakens, flocks take to the sky, their wings catching the first light. In the Amazon, the birds are not just inhabitants, they are the heartbeat of the canopy, shaping the forest with every song, every flight, and every flash of color. The Amazon rainforest is a living tapestry, woven from the lives of countless extraordinary species. Each animal and plant here has evolved remarkable adaptations, and many are bound together by intricate relationships, mutualism, commensalism, and symbiosis, that shape the very fabric of this ecosystem. Among the most iconic is the three-toed sloth, a master of slow-motion survival. This gentle mammal spends nearly its entire life suspended from the treetops, moving so slowly that algae grow on its fur. Its sluggish pace is a clever defense, making it nearly invisible to sharp-eyed predators like the harpy eagle, the rainforest's formidable raptor. The sloth's fur is a miniature ecosystem, home to green algae and a variety of insects. The algae, thriving in grooves of the sloth's hair, provide camouflage and, in return, benefit from the moist, shaded environment, a classic example of mutualism. Moths, too, have found a home in the sloth's fur. They lay their eggs there, and when the sloth descends to the forest floor to defecate, the moths complete their life cycle in the nutrient-rich dung. This commensal relationship benefits the moths, while the sloth remains largely unaffected. The rainforest itself is alive with sound, a chorus of calls, songs, and roars that echo through the dense foliage. One of the most powerful voices belongs to the howler monkey, whose calls can be heard for miles. The guttural roar of a male howler monkey, amplified by a hollow hyoid bone, can travel nearly 3 miles through the thick forest. This adaptation is a marvel of evolution, allowing the monkeys to communicate their presence and territory to distant troops, reducing direct conflict, a subtle form of mutual avoidance that benefits all. Their morning chorus is a defining feature of the Amazon's soundscape, a natural symphony that marks the start of each day. As the sun rises, the forest awakens to these resonant calls, signaling the boundaries of each group's domain. Throughout the Amazon, countless species are linked by special bonds, some visible, others hidden beneath the canopy. The relationship between the hummingbird and the heliconia flower is a vivid example of mutualism. Hummingbirds, with their iridescent feathers and rapid wing beats, have evolved long, slender beaks perfectly suited to the heliconia's curved blossoms. As they sip the sweet nectar, their heads become dusted with pollen. The heliconia's unique shape ensures only certain hummingbirds can access its nectar, creating a specialized partnership. In return for food, the hummingbird becomes a vital pollinator, transferring pollen from flower to flower and ensuring the plant's reproduction. This mutualistic bond is so precise that some species of hummingbird and heliconia have co-evolved, each shaping the other's form and behavior. Such symbiosis is the engine of biodiversity in the Amazon, driving the evolution of new forms and relationships. Other animals act as gardeners of the forest, forging bonds with the plants they feed on. The tapir, a large, nocturnal herbivore, roams the undergrowth in search of fruit, swallowing seeds whole. As it travels, the tapir disperses these seeds far and wide in its droppings, a process known as endozoochory. This commensal relationship benefits the plants, which gain new ground, while the tapir enjoys a varied diet. The result is a constantly renewing forest, with saplings sprouting in the wake of the tapir's nightly wanderings, maintaining genetic diversity and ecosystem health. In the waterways, the Amazonian manatee is another gentle gardener. This aquatic mammal, related to elephants, glides through rivers and lakes, feeding on floating vegetation. By consuming up to 15% of its body weight each day, the manatee helps control aquatic plant growth, keeping channels open and supporting a balanced aquatic ecosystem, a subtle but vital form of ecosystem engineering. For centuries, the Amazon rainforest was thought to be an untouched wilderness, its secrets hidden beneath a sea of green. But the forest itself holds the memory of ancient civilizations, not in ruins or artifacts, but in the very patterns of its trees, the composition of its soil, and the diversity of its life. From above, subtle geometric shapes emerge, earthworks, mounds, and causeways, now cloaked in dense vegetation. These shapes are not just scars on the land, but living echoes as the forest regrows in patterns set long ago. The soil itself tells a story. Patches of deep, dark earth, terra preta, stand out against the lighter, less fertile ground. These islands of fertility support a richer, more diverse array of plants, creating pockets of abundance that ripple through the ecosystem. Even today, these fertile soils nurture towering trees and dense undergrowth, supporting wildlife in greater numbers and variety than the surrounding forest. The legacy of ancient enrichment lingers, shaping the forest's very structure. In some places, the forest's composition is a living archive. Clusters of fruit and nut trees, like Brazil nut, peach palm, and cacao, grow in unnatural abundance, their distribution hinting at ancient orchards and managed groves. These botanical mosaics are the forest's way of remembering. The diversity of plant life, too, is shaped by ancient hands. Some rare species thrive only in areas where the soil was once enriched, or where the land was subtly shaped to hold water or resist floods. The forest's richness is, in part, a reflection of its long history of transformation. The animals, too, follow ancient paths. Trails worn by generations of wildlife often trace the lines of old causeways and canals, while birds and monkeys feast on the fruits of trees planted centuries ago. The web of life here is woven with threads of the past. Even the flow of water across the land bears the imprint of ancient design. Seasonal floods are channeled by subtle rises and depressions, creating wetlands and lakes that pulse with life at certain times of year. The landscape itself is a living memory, shaped by centuries of adaptation. The boundaries between wild and cultivated, natural and shaped, are blurred here. The forest is not a static relic, but a dynamic, evolving record of the civilizations that once flourished within it. As dawn breaks over the Amazon, the forest breathes with the memory of its past. Every leaf, every root, every patch of dark earth is a testament to the enduring relationship between nature and the civilizations that once called this place home. In the Amazon, history is not just written in stone or bone, but in the living tapestry of the forest itself, a silent, ever-present echo of ancient civilizations, preserved in the patterns of life that continue to thrive today. The Amazon rainforest, vast and teeming with life, is not only threatened by human hands, but also by powerful natural forces and ecological imbalances that can devastate this paradise. Each year, the Amazon faces the fury of natural disasters. Torrential rains can cause rivers to swell far beyond their banks, flooding vast stretches of forest and uprooting ancient trees. Violent storms, with howling winds, can topple giants that have stood for centuries, leaving gaps in the canopy and altering the delicate balance of light and shade below. In contrast, prolonged droughts parch the land, shrinking rivers and drying out wetlands, putting immense stress on plants and animals that depend on water for survival. These dry spells can spark wildfires that rage through the undergrowth, consuming everything in their path and leaving behind a landscape of ash and silence. The Amazon also faces invasion from non-native species. Aggressive plants and vines can smother native trees, outcompeting them for sunlight and nutrients, and disrupting the intricate web of life. In the rivers and streams, invasive fish and insects can upset the natural balance, preying on native species or spreading diseases that the local wildlife cannot resist. Disease outbreaks, such as deadly fungal infections, can sweep through populations of frogs and other amphibians, causing mass die-offs and threatening the survival of entire species. Swarms of insects like locusts or voracious leaf-cutter ants can strip trees and plants of their leaves, leaving the forest vulnerable and weakened. Erosion and landslides, triggered by heavy rains or shifting soils, can reshape the landscape in an instant, burying habitats and altering the course of rivers. Even the natural cycles of predator and prey can become imbalanced. When one species flourishes or declines too rapidly, it can send shockwaves through the entire ecosystem. Nutrient depletion in the soil, caused by repeated cycles of growth and decay, can leave patches of forest struggling to regenerate, threatening the lush diversity that defines the Amazon. The animals of the Amazon, from the smallest insects to the largest mammals, must constantly adapt to these shifting challenges. As habitats change or shrink, creatures are forced into new territories, sometimes leading to fierce competition for food and shelter. In the waterways, sudden algae blooms can rob the water of oxygen, suffocating fish and other aquatic life in a matter of hours. The Amazon's climate is changing, with unpredictable weather patterns bringing new stresses to plants and animals that have evolved over millennia to thrive in stable conditions. The future of this extraordinary ecosystem is uncertain, as it faces a cascade of natural threats that could tip the balance and unravel the web of life. The loss of the Amazon would be a tragedy not only for the countless species that call it home, but for the entire planet, which depends on its stability and resilience. The Amazon is a living library of biodiversity, holding secrets to survival, adaptation, and the health of our world. This dangerous paradise is a treasure of nature, facing threats both ancient and new, one we must cherish and protect, for its fate is inseparable from our own. Beneath the emerald canopy, the Amazon holds secrets that lie far from the reach of sunlight. Its hidden waterways form a vast pulsing network, an aquatic world as rich and mysterious as the forest above. Deep underground, ancient rivers snake silently through limestone caverns, their cool currents carving tunnels over millennia. These subterranean arteries feed the surface with mineral-rich waters, nourishing rare aquatic life found nowhere else on Earth. Blind catfish and pale crustaceans navigate these lightless corridors, perfectly adapted to their shadowy domain. Above ground, the Amazon's seasonal floodplains transform the landscape in a dramatic annual cycle. As rains swell the mighty river and its tributaries, water spills over the banks, flooding the forest for months at a time. Trees stand half submerged, their roots breathing through knobby protrusions called pneumatophores. Fish swim among the branches, feeding on fruits and seeds dropped from above, while river dolphins glide gracefully through sun-dappled channels. This flooded forest, or varzea, is a shifting world where boundaries between land and water blur. Here, electric eels use pulses to navigate murky currents, and armored river turtles lay their eggs on temporary sandbanks. Giant water lilies unfurl their broad leaves, providing shelter for frogs and insects. Each species is finely tuned to the rhythms of the rising and falling waters. Even beneath the surface, hidden lakes and oxbow lagoons teem with life. Schools of neon tetras flash in the filtered light, while predatory piranhas patrol the tangled roots. Aquatic plants oxygenate the water, supporting an intricate food web that sustains creatures both large and small. These hidden waterways are the lifeblood of the Amazon, shaping its biodiversity and linking distant habitats. They are silent highways for migration, nurseries for young fish, and refugees during times of drought. In these submerged realms, the true complexity of the rainforest is revealed, a world where water is both barrier and bridge, connecting every corner of this extraordinary ecosystem. As the sun dips below the horizon, the Amazon transforms into a different realm, one cloaked in shadows and alive with the sounds of the night. This is a world where the nocturnal beings of the rainforest come to life, each adapted to thrive in the darkness. The chorus begins with the calls of frogs, their vocalizations echoing through the underbrush. Among them, the glass frog, nearly transparent, reveals its beating heart under the moonlight. Nearby tree frogs cling to the bark, their bright eyes scanning for insects drawn to the glow of bioluminescent fungi. In the canopy above, the night belongs to the elusive ocelot. Silent and stealthy, this spotted predator prowls the branches, its keen senses attuned to the slightest rustle. Below, the undergrowth stirs with the movement of armadillos, their armored bodies rustling through the leaf litter in search of grubs and insects. Fireflies punctuate the darkness with their rhythmic flashes, a silent communication of light. Among the leaves, the giant tarantula emerges from its burrow. Its hairy legs move with deliberate precision as it hunts for prey, relying on vibrations to navigate the night. The air is thick with the fluttering of wings as bats take to the skies. The spectral bat, with its ghostly white fur, darts among the trees, while the nectar-feeding tube-lipped bat hovers at flowers, its long tongue probing for sweet sustenance. Meanwhile, the vampire bat, often misunderstood, silently glides to its next meal, using heat sensors to locate its target. On the forest floor, the leaf-cutter ants march in single file, undeterred by the absence of daylight. They carry fragments of leaves back to their underground nests, where a fungal garden thrives, cultivated by their tireless efforts. Even the plants have their nocturnal secrets. The moonflower unfurls its petals, releasing a sweet fragrance that attracts pollinators of the night. Moths, with their delicate wings, flit from bloom to bloom, ensuring the continuation of life in the darkness. As the night deepens, the Amazon reveals its hidden wonders. This is a time of heightened senses, where creatures large and small navigate a world of shadows and whispers. The nocturnal life of the rainforest is a testament to the adaptability and resilience of its inhabitants, each playing a vital role in the intricate web of life. Beneath the towering trees and beneath the feet of every animal, an unseen world pulses with life, one that is essential to the Amazon's health and resilience. This is the realm of microbes, bacteria, fungi, and countless microscopic organisms, each playing a silent but vital role. Microbial life is the rainforest's ultimate recycler. As leaves, wood, and animal matter fall to the forest floor, armies of bacteria and fungi begin their work, breaking down complex organic material into simple nutrients. Mycorrhizal fungi thread through the soil, forming vast underground networks that connect tree roots, exchanging minerals and water for sugars produced by photosynthesis. These fungal highways enable trees to communicate and share resources, strengthening the forest's unity. Bacteria, too, are tireless workers. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria transform inert atmospheric nitrogen into forms that plants can absorb, fueling the explosive growth of the jungle's vegetation. Other bacteria specialize in decomposing dead plant material, ensuring that nutrients are continuously recycled and that the soil remains fertile. Some fungi form intricate fruiting bodies, mushrooms and toadstools, visible only briefly before melting back into the earth. Others, like endophytic fungi, live within the tissues of plants, offering protection from pathogens and drought in exchange for a place to reside. Even the Amazon's rivers depend on microbial life. Aquatic bacteria help break down organic matter, keeping the water clear and oxygenated, while algae and phytoplankton form the base of the aquatic food web. Together, these microscopic architects maintain the balance of life in the Amazon. Though invisible to the naked eye, their collective work sustains the towering trees, the vibrant animal communities, and the very air we breathe. In the endless cycle of growth and decay, the Amazon's microbial world is the silent engine, ensuring the rainforest endures for generations to come. High above the forest floor, where sunlight pierces the emerald sea of leaves, the Amazon canopy hosts a world apart, a realm of unique plant communities that thrive in the sky. Here, nestled on ancient branches and tangled lianas, epiphytes take root without ever touching the ground. These air plants are masters of adaptation, capturing moisture from passing mists and drawing nutrients from fallen leaves and rain. Among the most dazzling residents are orchids, countless species, each with its own intricate form and secretive pollination dance. Their blooms, some as tiny as a fingernail, others bold and flamboyant, attract hummingbirds, bees, and even bats, weaving the web of life ever tighter. Orchids have evolved to survive in the thin soils of the treetops, their roots exposed to the air, clinging to bark and moss. Bromeliads, too, are stars of the canopy. Their rosette-shaped leaves form natural water tanks, collecting rain and leaf litter. These miniature reservoirs become bustling microhabitats, home to frogs, insects, and even small fish. Each bromeliad is a world within a world, sheltering life that may never descend to the forest floor. In these lofty gardens, mosses, ferns, and lichens blanket branches, creating soft carpets that cradle seeds and shelter invertebrates. The interplay of sunlight, rain, and wind shapes a patchwork of microhabitats, each supporting a cast of specialized organisms, each vital to the rainforest's diversity. The canopy's plant communities are not just beautiful, they are essential. They intercept rainfall, buffer extreme temperatures, and provide food and shelter for countless animals. In the Amazon's sky gardens, life flourishes in forms and colors found nowhere else, a testament to nature's imagination and resilience. In the heart of the Amazon, time is not measured by months or calendars, but by the pulse of the seasons. Here the year unfolds in two great acts, the wet and the dry, each casting its own spell on the forest and its inhabitants. As the wet season arrives, the sky opens with torrential rains. Rivers swell beyond their banks, flooding the forest floor and transforming the landscape into a labyrinth of waterways. Fish glide between the trunks of submerged trees, while caimans and river dolphins explore new realms. The deluge awakens a chorus of frogs, their calls echoing through the night, signaling the start of a frenzied breeding season. Insects burst forth in overwhelming numbers, providing a feast for birds and bats alike. Plants respond in kind, trees put out new leaves in a flush of green, and many species burst into bloom, their flowers luring pollinators with color and scent. Epiphytes soak up the abundant moisture, their roots swelling with life, while bromeliads brim with fresh rainwater, becoming nurseries for a new generation of amphibians and insects. But as the rains retreat and the dry season takes hold, the forest transforms once more. Rivers shrink, revealing sandy beaches where turtles lay their eggs. Pools evaporate, concentrating fish and drawing hungry predators. Some trees shed their leaves to conserve water, their bare branches standing stark against the sky. Others, adapted to the drought, flower during these lean months, using the absence of leaves to better attract pollinators. Animals, too, must adapt. Monkeys and birds travel farther in search of fruit, while jaguars and ocelots prowl the shrinking riverbanks, capitalizing on the congregation of prey. Many amphibians burrow into the moist earth or seek refuge in bromeliads, waiting for the rains to return. These seasonal shifts shape every facet of life in the Amazon. They dictate when seeds sprout, when animals breed, and when food is most abundant. The endless dance between wet and dry ensures that no 2 days are ever quite the same, weaving a dynamic and ever-changing tapestry of life. In the Amazon, survival depends on the ability to adapt, not just to the forest, but to the rhythm of the seasons themselves. Before dawn breaks, the Amazon awakens, not with light, but with sound. In this vast green cathedral, the natural world composes its own symphony, a chorus that rises and falls with the rhythm of the day and the pulse of the seasons. As the first hints of morning filter through the canopy, the haunting calls of howler monkeys echo across the treetops, their deep voices rolling like distant thunder. In the undergrowth, the persistent chirr of cicadas and the high-pitched trills of tree frogs layer the air with a ceaseless pulse. Birds join the overture, macaws screech in vivid bursts, while the melodic whistles of tinnitus and the fluting songs of thrushes weave through the leaves. The rain itself is a musician here. When the wet season storms arrive, sheets of water drum against broad leaves, tapping out intricate rhythms on every surface. Distant thunder rumbles, and the forest seems to hush for a moment, listening. Then, as the rain slackens, the patter of droplets gives way to the delicate plink of water falling from branch to branch, a gentle lullaby. As midday heat settles, the chorus softens. The wind stirs the canopy, rustling countless leaves in a shimmering susurrus that sweeps across the treetops. In the flooded forest, the splash of a surfacing fish or the quiet plop of a falling fruit adds a subtle counterpoint. Dusk brings a crescendo. Insects surge in number and volume, their calls forming a dense electric hum. Nightjars and potus call out in the gathering darkness, their voices strange and unearthly. Deep in the shadows, the croak of a hidden frog and the rustle of unseen wings hint at countless lives moving through the night. Every sound is a signal, a warning, a mating call, a declaration of territory, or simply the byproduct of life unfolding. Together, they create a living soundscape as rich and complex as the forest itself. In the Amazon, silence is rare and fleeting. Here, the music of life never ceases. It is the heartbeat of the wild, echoing through the endless green. Deep within the heart of the Amazon, silent giants rise above the sea of green. These ancient trees, some towering for centuries, are the true sentinels of the rainforest. Species like the Brazil nut, kapok, and mahogany can live for hundreds, sometimes even 1,000 years, their trunks bearing silent witness to generations of life unfolding beneath their branches. Each ancient tree is an ecosystem unto itself. Their massive canopies provide shelter and food for countless creatures. Scarlet macaws nest in hollowed limbs, while sloths and monkeys traverse the uppermost branches. Epiphytes, such as orchids and bromeliads, cling to the bark, drawing sustenance from the moist air and capturing rainwater in their leaves, creating miniature ponds that teem with insect larvae and tiny frogs. The roots of these giants bind the forest floor, stabilizing soil and channeling nutrients and water through vast underground networks. Fungi form intricate partnerships with the roots, exchanging minerals for sugars in a web of mutual support that sustains the entire forest. Fallen leaves and branches feed a bustling community of decomposers below, recycling nutrients back into the earth. Their crowns, reaching toward the sun, are engines of photosynthesis, drawing carbon dioxide from the air and storing it in wood and leaves. In this way, the ancient trees help regulate the planet's climate, acting as one of the Earth's most effective carbon sinks. Even as they age and eventually fall, these trees continue to shape the rainforest. Their decaying trunks become nurseries for new life, supporting fungi, insects, and the next generation of seedlings. In their long lifespans, the ancient trees of the Amazon embody the cycles of growth, decay, and renewal. They are the living pillars of the rainforest, supporting a world of interconnected life high above, deep below, and all around. Beneath the emerald canopy and across the tangled undergrowth, an invisible network pulses with life, the Amazon's complex food web. Here, every creature, from the smallest insect to the top predators, is linked in a perpetual dance of survival. Start at the forest floor, where armies of leafcutter ants harvest foliage to cultivate underground fungal gardens. In turn, anteaters roam, their long tongues flicking out to snatch up thousands of ants and termites in a single meal. Above them, the jaguar prowls in silence, its spotted coat blending perfectly with the dappled shadows. It stalks capybaras by the water's edge and monkeys in the trees, maintaining the delicate balance between predator and prey. High in the branches, harpy eagles scan the canopy, their powerful talons poised to seize unsuspecting monkeys and sloths. Meanwhile, smaller birds like toucans and tanagers feast on fruits and insects, dispersing seeds and keeping insect populations in check. But the food web doesn't end with flesh and fruit. Carnivorous plants, such as the pitcher plant, lure insects into their liquid traps, digesting them for vital nutrients. Parasitic fungi invade the bodies of ants and beetles, manipulating their movements before releasing spores to infect new hosts. Even the tiniest creatures play their part. Swarms of mosquitoes and midges draw blood from mammals and birds, while in turn they become prey for bats and dragonflies. Frogs and lizards snatch up flies and spiders, only to be hunted themselves by snakes lurking in the shadows. Every link in this chain is vital. Remove a single species, and the balance begins to shift, sending ripples through the entire ecosystem. In the Amazon, survival is a matter of adaptation, cooperation, and competition, a web of life as intricate and vibrant as the rainforest itself. Hidden within the lush embrace of the Amazon, some creatures bear witness to a world unimaginably old, a time before humans, before even the rise of the dinosaurs. These are the Amazon's living fossils, ancient species that have changed little over millions, sometimes hundreds of millions, of years. Glide beneath the surface of slow-moving blackwater streams, and you may encounter the arapaima, one of the world's largest freshwater fish, with armored scales and a lung-like organ that allows it to breathe air. The arapaima's lineage stretches back to the age of the dinosaurs. Its massive, torpedo-shaped body moves with prehistoric grace, a reminder of an evolutionary path largely untouched by time. In the leaf litter, armored millipedes crawl, their segmented bodies protected by tough exoskeletons. Some of these species trace their ancestry to the ancient supercontinent of Gondwana, their forms nearly identical to fossils dating back hundreds of millions of years. Elsewhere, the Amazon's rivers are home to the South American lungfish, an elusive creature with both gills and lungs, capable of surviving in oxygen-poor water and even enduring droughts. By burrowing into mud, the lungfish exemplifies resilience honed over epochs. Peer into the dappled light of secluded forest pools, and you might spot a mata-mata turtle, its bizarre leaf-like appearance providing perfect camouflage among submerged branches. This strange reptile, with its wide flattened head and tubercled shell, is a living relic of an ancient evolutionary experiment. Even the towering trees harbor survivors from deep time. The Brazil nut tree, with its massive fruits and complex pollination system, has changed little since the days when giant ground sloths roamed the forest floor, creatures long extinct, but whose memory lingers in the tree's reliance on large mammals for seed dispersal. In the Amazon, these ancient survivors are more than curiosities. They are living links to a primordial world, their continued existence a testament to the rainforest's enduring power to nurture life across the ages. When most envision the Amazon, fire is seen only as a threat, a destructive force that scars the emerald expanse. Yet, in the shadows of this vast forest, fire has always played a quiet, natural role, shaping the landscape in ways both subtle and profound. In rare pockets where the forest meets the savanna, lightning ignites seasonal blazes. These natural fires, though far less frequent than in other ecosystems, spark a process of renewal. Some hardy grasses and shrubs have evolved to withstand the heat, their seeds lying dormant until awakened by fire's warmth. As flames sweep through, the dense undergrowth is cleared, allowing sunlight to reach the forest floor and triggering a flush of new growth. Among the survivors, a fire-adapted species like the Cecropia tree, whose lightweight seeds germinate swiftly in the open spaces left behind. Their broad, palmate leaves stretch toward the sky, pioneers in a cycle of ecological succession. Insects, drawn by the scent of scorched earth, colonize the fresh clearings, followed by birds that feast on the bounty. Gradually, the forest reclaims its lost ground, layer by layer. Even the ancient Brazil nut tree, with its thick, fire-resistant bark, stands as a sentinel among the ashes, proof of evolutionary resilience. Over time, the mosaic of burnt and unburnt patches weaves a richer tapestry of life, nurturing diversity and fostering regeneration. Though fire is a rare visitor in the heart of the Amazon, its natural presence shapes the ecosystem in quiet, essential ways. It is neither enemy nor ally, but a silent force in the endless cycle of destruction and rebirth, a reminder that even in the world's greatest rainforest, life and renewal sometimes begin with a spark.